Do you like the great outdoors? Are you or are you looking to be a master bow hunter? King of the hill in archery? You're in the right place. Welcome to BowHunterPlanet. It's the BowHunterPlanet podcast, recorded live in the BHP studios, Detroit, Michigan, with your host, Team BHP.
Hello and welcome to the BowHunterPlanet podcast. It's myself, Dave Thomas, and I'm on a special edition today with Andrew Faulkner. Andrew is MLB player for the Baltimore Orioles. Andrew, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm glad you guys could have me today.
Yeah, it's very exciting to have you on, and it's fun to when we look at mainstream things, and I look at baseball or basketball. It's really cool to have people in the mainstream who are doing these things, but also hunters, and I think people don't realize that a lot of people are hunters. Some of them don't talk about it and some do. And I think in most cases, they don't talk about it probably. I'm sure there's a ton of sports players who actually don't talk about it. I know there's a lot of rock stars that don't talk about it. Like Kid Rock doesn't say much about it, but he definitely is a hunter, which is pretty interesting. So how did you get into hunting?
Actually I had nobody else in my family hunts at all. 6 brothers and my parents, and nobody hunts. And I'm from a small town. But my best friend growing up, huge hunter, and I really just started to go with him when I was in middle school. And shoot, ever since then, I've just been hooked on it, and I can't get enough.
Yeah, it's really cool. Now, do you primarily hunt bow hunting or gun hunting, or a little bit of both?
Just bow. I picked up a bow about 6 years ago now, and I sold all my rifles. So just bow.
Nice. And you said where'd you grow up at? What state were you in?
South Carolina, Aiken, South Carolina, small town, right near the Georgia border, actually.
Oh, awesome. I think I always get confused by this. I don't know why. Is Myrtle Beach in South Carolina or North?
South Carolina.
Okay, that's where I just was. I was like, I was just
okay.
there, but I was like, I think I was in South Carolina, but and that was a beautiful area, and I know that's probably a busy area compared to where you grew up, but Myrtle Beach is pretty sweet. I'm assuming you've been there a few times.
Yeah, and I actually played there too one year. So.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, that was actually pretty neat. But yeah, it's about 3 hours from me, but it's a nice area.
That's really cool. So how has it been with your job? I mean, working as a professional athlete, is it time consuming? I mean, you guys travel a ton, I assume?
Yeah, we travel. I mean, shoot, I'm at a month. I might be home 15 days, and I mean home as in wherever I'm playing, not actually in South Carolina home. But
yeah,
yeah, it's really hard. I have from about February to September straight of travel and games. But luckily, with that being baseball season, after that, I have about 4 months completely off, and that happens to be exactly deer season, so it works out good.
And when you're traveling, do you have a chance? So when you're basically done, you're not really hunting. So I guess what I was going to suggest is when you're traveling, do you have a chance to get out in the different states to do fishing or anything like that?
No, I wish. Actually, it's funny. Today is about my only off day in a month and a half, so we
Wow.
don't get too many off days during the season. I wish when I was in Texas and I played for them for a while. I got lucky that I met a lot of people there, so when I did have off days, I could go hog hunting there. I haven't quite met those connections here yet, though.
Yeah, gotcha. And so when you're practicing, are you throwing a ball every day?
Oh yeah,
Wow.
every
Okay.
day.
I think it's interesting because when the Tigers were doing real well here in Michigan, they were talking about the pitchers, relief pitchers, things like that, and I just remember one of the things was that you can't wear out the arms, can't do this. So I'm assuming are you throwing full speed every day or just like kind of just throwing just to keep it loose?
A little bit of both. I'm a reliever, so I might pitch in the game, 3 or 4 nights in a row, or I might have 5 days off from throwing in
Oh,
the game. So it's really just how you feel. Some days is really light, and some days you throw a little bit more. It varies every day.
Yeah, cool. That's cool. All right, let's get back to hunting. More important. So, where do you when you are hunting, you're getting into it and serious about it. Where are you mostly spending your time? Are you in like where would you be normally? Like Carolinas, or where would that be?
Mostly in South Carolina.
Nice. And in that area, I've never really hunted South Carolina. I know there's a lot of hogs there too. Are you guys mostly tree stand hunting or spot and stalk, or what kind of hunting?
No, it's all tree stand, all tree stand.
Gotcha. Very cool. So what bow are you using this year?
This year I think I'm actually sticking with my 2015 Prime Rise.
Nice. You know they're out of
Um, I've
Michigan,
s-
right?
yeah, I've
G5 up here.
switched up. Yeah, I've switched up bows every year, and I'm just stuck on the Prime Rise. I shoot it really well, and I'm comfortable with it. So I just got new strings for it and said, screw it, I'm keeping this one.
Yeah. Do you usually just keep one per year, or do you have like a backup? You keep one around?
I'll normally toy around with a different one for backup.
Yeah, that's what I do too. I figured, you know what? Every time I go on any hunts or anything like that, I'm taking either a crossbow as well or two bows. It just depends on what the situation is or where I'm going. But I find it kind of, just to protect it, because one of the times we went to Ohio and one of the bows broke out of the two hunters, and that was a big ordeal. And trying to get it fixed and losing a day of hunting to go to a pro shop, it was horrible. So that's
Oh yeah.
definitely good to have a backup bow. But what kind of hunts you got coming up this year? You can do all local, or do you have some plans?
Oh, I have all the hunting in South Carolina, which about I hunt about 2,000 acres in South Carolina. I'll hunt Illinois, which I'm lucky enough I have a good friend there, so I hunt there every year. And I put in for a Wyoming pronghorn tag, but I didn't get it. But I got my Arizona elk tag, so I'm going to be
Cool.
late season elk, so November elk tag in Arizona.
That's really cool. Is when you're traveling like that, so do you take like would you take one bow on that kind of a trip?
That's a really good question. I haven't decided yet. I probably will only bring one bow just because um, it's it the whole. I only have 2 weeks to get it done. That's the whole season for that November hunt is
Yeah.
2 weeks. So I'm going to be pretty much backpacking it for almost 14 days straight until I shoot something. So
Wow. That's
yeah,
crazy.
so with stuff I have to bring, between the tent and all that and backpack, so I'll probably just only bring one bow and try to be pretty careful.
Yeah, that's exciting. That sounds like a lot of fun. Have you ever actually hunted in the Michigan area?
No, not in the Michigan area.
Yeah, I don't blame you. there's not there's not much going on here. I mean, you're not going to get anything major, but I just wonder because sometimes people, it's funny because Ted Nugent's from here. Obviously, we actually just had him on the podcast last night, which was really cool. And it's interesting. They always come back to Michigan, no matter what. And he lives in Texas and in Michigan, and they go back and forth. And I think it's one of those things where you grow up somewhere, you have this like feeling of outdoors and hunting, and it kind of drives you a little bit more, and you want to be home, is what you would call it. So for us,
Yeah.
it's like we stick in Michigan with hunting, even though it's probably not smart compared to like the traveling, hunting, and getting the bigger deer. But
Oh yeah.
I guess for me, it's just I've personally have never really been driven by bones, so I don't necessarily care about a huge rack. I wouldn't mind. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I wouldn't shoot a nice deer, or elk or whatever. But the other side of it's like, just that travel. I mean, do you have a family yet?
No, 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 by
So it makes it
myself.
easier, yeah. Because as I say, it'd be
Yeah.
hard to walk away from my children that long and try to get something done. But believe me, it sounds awesome. And I always tell my friends, if we started BHP back in we were like 19 or something, I can't even imagine how awesome it would be, or even through college, just the travels we could have went on and done, you know, pretty exciting stuff. But hey, tell me about your most memorable hunt that you have so far.
Um, I've had some good ones, but honestly, one of the best times I've had hunting is really hunting back home. I'm right there with you. I love to travel and hunt. I love to see all the different places, but I've managed the same land for I think 8 years now, And this past off season, I was in the stand, and one of the bucks that I've seen and I've actually seen start to grow up and manage and all that, and I ended up shooting him. And we don't have the biggest deer in South Carolina. I think he was 138 or something, which in a lot of states is not a crazy deer, but for South Carolina it's phenomenal. So it's probably one of my most memorable ones, just because I put in all the work and to see that deer grow up and to finally shoot him, and it didn't get any better than that one for me.
Yeah, man, that's exciting. I think it's gonna be a good year. I mean, are you looking forward to this year? Do you have anything do you do anything in the later season, like December on, or is that when you start working again?
Yeah, no, December. So my season ends in South Carolina in the first of the year, and that's kind of when I have to kind of cut out a lot of my hunting and stick to baseball and doing a lot more training and throwing and stuff. So I try to get all my hunts in real early in the off season in October, November.
So being a baseball player, have you been able to connect with any other coworkers on hunts or anything yet?
Not really. Surprisingly, I haven't. I know there's a lot of baseball players that love hunting, but just where I've been, I haven't played with too many of them. I mean, there's a few guys. There's your Mitch Morelands and guys like that who really love to hunt. I've actually introduced some baseball guys to hunting, which was
nice,
which was something else in itself, but. I haven't got together and gone on a hunt with anybody else yet.
Yeah, that's interesting. I wonder. I'm interested that no one's ever really thought of doing that, or bringing together those different areas, like all professional athletes to hunts, because the cool part is some of them who are obviously making good money. Some are making really good money or have a lot of land, and have connections that are unbelievable. I mean, I was talking to somebody the other day who fishes on Luke Bryan's land, you know what I mean? Because they're friends with everybody in those realms. And, I don't think people like Aaron Rodgers hunt, but who knows, you never know.
Yeah.
Up in Wisconsin.
Never really do know.
And he could be sitting on 50,000 acres.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Discount double check, baby. You got to start doing that. What can you do? You got to do your own little move. Do you have your own?
No.
Oh, come on.
Not yet.
We got to make one up, because that's where you make the money, man. You can do a couple great plays, and all of a sudden, next thing you know, you're on $20-40 million a year and rolling.
Yeah, no kidding. He's made a lot off that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's the funny part. You think about it. It's like, obviously, you got to be really good, and you got to, do your job awesome. But on top of it, doing something silly like that could, you know what I mean, brought in a whole nother realm of funding, which is hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
When you think about it. But, hey, so what's your favorite broadhead?
I think my favorite is a grave digger, which is it's fixed blade and a mechanical. I have a long story behind those, but that's all I shoot now.
That thing's vicious looking.
Oh yeah, and they produce some good blood trails, and they've helped me out a lot. Let's put it that way. So I stuck with them.
Nice. You get good flight with them?
Yeah, I get. I mean, that's one of the they actually do a 100-yard broadhead test in Arizona every year. 100-yard broadhead shoot, and I think that broadhead has won. I want to say 4 out of the last 5 years.
Jeez.
So, I mean, if that's not proof, then I don't know what is.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Yeah, that's crazy, man. Now, when you're shooting and hunting, are you? I mean, are you mainly taking 20-yard pop shots, or are you trying to reach out in some of these hunts?
I mean, there's a lot of them where, I mean, I'm looking pretty much anything within 100 yards is within the kill zone. So that's kind of what I'm looking at. I'd like to get closer, but I'm lucky enough that I have enough time to practice at the longer shots. So if it's within 100, it's within my kill zone.
Nice. And when you're So like I guess give us an average day for you. Like if you're working, so let's say you're working, and let's say it's not a game, you're just practicing. Do you start at like 6 a.m. and get done at 6, or what? How's that work?
Well, we don't really have any days that we don't have a game. So
Oh, gotcha.
I mean, yeah. So we play. I mean, we have a game every day,
Wow.
essentially.
Oh,
And if
man.
yeah. So I mean, we have 162 games in 170 days.
Holy cow! How does it work
So-
with travel? Do you guys travel by bus, by air, stay in hotels?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of hotels, but I mean, it just depends how far it is. Sometimes you bus it, sometimes you fly.
Wow, a lot of logistics, man.
Oh yeah.
I guess that makes more sense then for travel too. They can stick to like less distance. I guess I don't know. That's interesting. So you've definitely played a lot of games then in your career.
There's a lot of games in your minor leagues and then all that too. So
When you guys play sports like that as a pitcher, I mean, how long is a pitcher? I mean, will you go about 15 years potentially, or is there a max for a pitcher or no?
no, it just depends. It all depends. Some people's body can keep up with the lifestyle and stuff longer than others, and some people make it 10 years, some people make it 5, some people make it 20. It depends on the wear and tear that your body is just able to take, and everybody's different.
Yeah, I gotcha. Very cool. All right, Andrew. Hey, man, thanks for joining me. I appreciate it. And talking hunting. Is there anything else you want to share? Anything you want to get out there?
No, I'm good. I'm glad you guys could have me. I really appreciate it. I had a good time.
Well, thanks a lot.
Thanks so much for listening to the BowHunterPlanet podcast, online at BowHunterPlanet.com with your host, Team BHP. Check us out on Facebook at BowHunterPlanet. We'll catch you next time.